Hello and welcome to the second edition of Vanta STEM, straight out the fax machine. Mind-boggling facts about Great Britain's Black British history. So without further ado, let's get into it. This week we're putting the spotlight on a man who inspired one of the greatest theories our world has ever known. I'm talking, of course, about John Edmonstone. It's believed that John was born into slavery in British Guiana in the late 1700s, around the time when the Brits had taken the colony from the Dutch. John's owner was a Scotsman named Charles Edmonstone, hence John's last name. His real birth name remains unknown, a common hangover of colonialism. John worked on a timber plantation in Demerara. A regular visitor to the plantation was Charles Waterton, a naturalist and slave owner who was skilled in the art of taxidermy, which is a technique for animal preservation. Waterton developed a relationship with John, and they spent much time together. In fact, John often accompanied Waterton on expeditions into nature where they would together observe and then preserve bird skins. These trips were well documented in Waterton's famous novel, Wanderings in South America. In 1817, John accompanied Charles Edmonstone to Scotland, a land which had banned slavery. By default, John gained his freedom. He set about working at the Natural Museum, where he applied the skills he had learned during his travels, in Waterton's words, the proper way to stuff birds. John also taught taxidermy at the University of Edinburgh. So, rolling into 1825, an enthusiastic 16-year-old came to Edinburgh University to study medicine, although he soon realized medicine wasn't for him. This man was none other than Charles Darwin, who would later be acclaimed for his theory of evolution by natural selection. Coincidentally, John lived only a few doors down from Darwin on Lothian Street. Darwin was very interested in John's work and soon began paying him for lessons in taxidermy. He received daily lessons over a period of 40 weeks, a time that was crucial for Darwin, who went on to use these skills of taxidermy whilst travelling the Galapagos Islands on the famous HMS Beagle in 1831. Here he collected many specimens, but in particular, the various species of finch and mockingbird were pivotal for him to reach his theory of evolution. We can only speculate on the impact that John had on Darwin. What we do know is that John, a former slave, had for a less than appropriate wage, taught Charles Darwin the techniques of taxidermy that would go on to shake the foundations of our understanding of our existence on this planet. Even at the time, John didn't receive his due recognition, which becomes apparent in a quote from Darwin, taken from his autobiography. A Negro lived in Edinburgh who had travelled with Waterton and gained his livelihood by stuffing birds, which he did excellently. He gave me lessons for payment, and I used often to sit with him, for he was a pleasant and intelligent man. John, unlike Waterton, was not even described by name, although clearly Darwin gained much benefit and inspiration from his time with John. Did Edmonstone help form Darwin's abolitionist viewpoint? Who knows? What we do know is that John Edmonstone's teachings formed the foundation of an idea that challenged our past and continues to shape our future. And that's facts. Join us on October 24th for a free live stream event, a UK BHM celebration, Black History, Present and Future. We'll revisit our past of Black British excellence, discuss current challenges and successes for Black Brits in STEM, and work towards achieving excellence through equity as we move to the future.